Hi and welcome to another eventual posting of this Mark II Jaguar wide-body two-door coupe and the Land Rover 101. It is just a quick update to show you where I've got up to so far. Firstly, more than anything, hope everybody had a good Christmas. I know it's getting a little bit on now, but I hope that you all had a good Christmas and that the new year is hopefully panning out for where you want it to go. As for us, we're hopefully moving forward in things which we're doing, so maybe if that comes to fruition, I'll update you on those things, but at the moment it's Land Rover and Jag. So, first off, last time I spoke to you, I think I should have checked the video, but I've been working on the seat for the Jag and the speaker system and the door card. I'll show you the door card because it's just mounted on with a couple of clips onto the door frame because the speakers that sat in there. And I've done a little bit started on the prepping for the Land Rover for the bodywork in the last few weeks I should say. Things have been going on for us over Christmas. I got poorly a little bit, then my wife got poorly over Christmas, so I took a month off work so I could get stuck in, and I lost half of that with being poorly and my wife being poorly. Since my last update, my son had his motorbike stolen. We managed to get that back, but they've done a bit of damage, so I've been doing a little bit of playing around with that to try and get that ready so he can get back on road again. So that slowed us right down as well, which has been let's say unfortunate for the 5 little scroats that stole it, and I don't mean unfortunate for them, but unfortunate for us because we don't even know who they are. Roughly an idea, but anyway, that's irrelevant anyway. But anyway, so what we've been doing in between all these things that's been going on, well, like I say, I've been doing the seat. So the original seat, in fact, bear with me 1 second. So forgot to get this piece. So this was the original chair back from the chairs that I bought, which I recovered. So that was my first stitching job, was this. Brand new seat. It's just that it was too wide here really, and I wasn't really keen on it. I'd be sat in the car, it's quite narrow in the Mark II Jaguar as the pillars come up, so even though the chair was sat in, this was virtually touching the BC post, and I thought I'm changing it, which I explained. So I designed on CAD the chair back, so the base is original, but because it's a two-door coupe now, as everybody knows that's watching these videos, the seats are still in the back, and so I needed to get in, so I couldn't use a traditional bucket type seat because even though we're moving the chair forward, you'd be struggling to get into the back. I didn't want that, so it had to tilt forward, did the chair. That's why I bought those chairs, but like I say, it was too wide, so I designed on CAD a new back, and I've been making the back, cutting all the material, welding it together, having a bit of trouble because my TIG plant, it's an old plant, so that's been giving me some messing around on and off. But anyway, I managed to get it welded up, and the designing and all the leather work, which I'm not a seamstress, but we'll get in there. But trying to design how to get it all to work has been quite difficult for me. And there's not really much online as to try to show you how to work this stuff out, you know, making templates and such for this sort of thing. So it's been literally a big learning curve to try and get my head around how to get all this to come together, which I'd explained before doing this bit here. Anyway, I'll show you what I've got. So obviously, see the front. So this piece comes out. It's just pushing some Velcro. This is obviously it's Velcro back there, Velcro down back of here, and then the back to hold it all on. I laced it, so I'm not sure. I'll take some pictures. So it's laced on. So I got some hook loop things for shoes, boots, whatever, and I laced it on. So same with the leather eyelets in there. So I did that because I thought that added a nice little dimension, because I didn't want to just have it velcroed on. So I lace it up. So I like that. I thought that looked quite good. And then, like I say, these reinforcing pieces here, they're to support the harnesses that go to the floor. So I've got 6 points on the car for the harnesses. And so those will be thinking, no, you need a beam across here because these come, and I would, but I've got chairs in the back. So the idea is, because obviously with the angle, let me just turn that there. So when this, obviously when I'm sat in it, I'm more reclined back, you know. Anyway, because it's reclined, the angle here and the harness coming up, in an accident scenario, as I go forward pulling on the harness will want to pull down as it comes forward. And so the weight of this comes into here and into the whole structure of this, trying to push this down as I would try to go forward. So that, like I said, the harnesses are here, mount points here, and 2 at the front. So that's the idea. And I'm sure that's going to be way more secure than the one that just comes across here. So anyway, so that's that. So that's the chair I've done. I'll take some pictures of this so you can see a bit better. Oh, and for the creasing, for any of those that think it's got a lot of creasing, it needs steaming yet, just to pull some of this creasing out. And that should make it a little bit tighter. But I think overall, I think that looks quite, and in the car, it looks really quite good. But at the moment, I was going to show you in the car, but I've had to take it all out because, like a lemon that I am, overthinking things, not looking at what I already have there sometimes. The handbrake, I forgot, was on the right-hand side because the handbrake wasn't in, just the bar. And so when I got the door card in, which I'll show you, and the speaker pods, and the chair in, to see how it all looked and sat, and I got my son to sat, and I shut the door, and I'm looking over, and then it dawned on me there's an handbrake there. Well, because of the speaker pod and everything, there was only a small gap, so I've had to modify, so that's why the chair's out. So that leads me on to the next thing. So I've done the speaker pods, so those there, and same thing, I'll do some pictures. Those are my tweeter and super tweeter, and this is the woofer and the crossover, which I'd done. Now I'd angled this here to look up because it sat in the door like that, so when you sat in it's coming up at you. This is where the handbrake lever is, and it, well, you aren't going to get to it. So, which wound me up a lot, and I was looking and I thought there's no way I'm changing door card because it's taken me ages to do the door card, to get it looking right, try and retain the originality of the card which was really originally in the car, and adding my piece to it. Like I said, I didn't want something that was just completely different, or just a blank piece of card, as it were, even though they were just pretty much blank with a few bits and pieces in. So I've added that. So I wasn't going to mess around with that. Absolutely not. So it was like, what am I going to do? So I had to strip all the speaker pod back out, door card off and everything. And so that's my original cover, leather cover, which I had on the speaker, which I, like I said, took out. That's a piece that I chopped off to try and move it in. So I've moved it in now. So it's different from that one in essence of it's not angled up, but it still looks pretty much the same because I wasn't going to change everything because I've spent so much time on this. It was like, no way. So that's what I've done. So I've reset that. So you'll see that in the door. I'd also moved the crossover in as well because that was, as it come up, it comes through a radius, obviously done it. And so the crossover was in the way, so I thought, well, I'm going to have to move the handbrake a little bit. So That is the ratchet mechanism. Like I said, I'll take pictures of all this stuff so you can see clearly what I've done. So I move the brackets from this side to this side. And I made this simple little jig out of some garbage what I had, just to make sure that when I put it all, reset it, I set it at 30 millimeters going into the car to move the whole thing over. Because I did that, the handbrake linkage lever had to be shortened again. So I originally shortened this because I'd moved the engine and the gearbox back. So all the tunnel in the car was moved, which then changed it. The position of it hasn't changed in relation to the floor pan, just the things that's inside. Because obviously the gearbox now is down here instead of up here. So I originally chopped a chunk out of that. I can't remember what it was, but anyway. I had to take another 30 mil out, so that had to come out. So hence the seat out. And that's the piece that I chopped out, 30 mil. And obviously, yeah, I chamfered it, and it's got a root, tigged in root, and a tigged in cap. So, and then I did quench it when it was just under cherry, which I'd say around about blue, to give it its temper, because obviously it's a splined end. And the same with the bracket. I quenched these to make sure, even though the heat didn't get into the area where the teeth are, but I still wanted to make sure that this is, but that's it's chamfered and it's completely welded all the way through. It's not just a cover, and it's all tigged as well, so I tigged it all in. So that's that for the Jag. Like I say, I'll show you the door card in a second. We'll just quickly touch on the 101 and what I've been doing. Not a lot really, because of the things that I have been doing. But what I have done is, last time I spoke about the, let me get up, my legs are killing me there. Last time I spoke, the valve guides, I've got new valves and valve guides. I got some performance guides. Didn't realise that they were shorter, so I had some more head porting work to do to help flow these for these valve guides, which was just dropping down the bossing where the guide comes through. Other than that, everything's remained the same. I haven't opened anything out or anything like that. But when I pulled out the original guides, it chafed somewhat a little bit in some of the bores, and like the new guides were slightly bigger, which I found out when I clocked them up with the micrometer. And I said that they probably did this so that they could ream it out and then the new guides would go in without damage. So I bought a reamer, 19/32, which is the exact size I required to take it for the tolerance fit. So I'd gone through, so all the heads now, or I should say both the heads, have now been reamed, and that's all I've done on the heads. I have not put them all back together yet, because like I said, I've been concentrating on Jag. And for the bodywork, in bits and pieces with what I've been doing with the bike and with Leo, we started doing a little bit of prepping work, just because obviously the engine's the main thing at the moment, getting that thing put back together, not trying, just needs putting back together. So we've been doing some prep work, so you can see on here. So the reason why I put some filler on here just around this front and sides to the backs of the doors is this original material was from the drop sides that came down on this 101, because me being me, I'll utilise wherever I can what's there. So I made these up, but where I'd taken off the top hat sections, which reinforced and made up the drop sides, the spot weld points, they were all in there, and there was some dinks and other bits and pieces from its life in military, and a little bit of corrosion here and there. So I thought, I'm not just going to paint over that because it looked a bit rough. So I've just filled it, and I just got my longboard sander. So I just got longboard sander, and I just went over the sides and front there. So that's what I've been doing with that, and we've just, like I said, we've cleaned the top, so it's going to get a black etch primer. So we're going to start doing that in between all the other bits and pieces we're doing. So that's with the Land Rover. Like I said, we've not done hardly anything with Land Rover at all. just simply because of car and bike. Anyway, we'll go have a look at the door card and the door, and you'll be able to see what I've done there. And I have spent quite a bit of time on that, trying to get that right, and I think it looks really quite good. So come on, let's have a look. So, door card. Obviously the handbrake goes here, which we've been talking about, which is exactly where I put these. And the reason why I put these here is because the original recess that was in the actual door frame is here. And when I chopped a door up to make this door longer, that recess comes all the way down to here, you see. So I utilise that instead of chopping into the door frame just to put the speaker in, which I didn't want to do. I utilise that recess. So I've got an aluminium carrier frame inside there, which clips into the door frame, and then this is screwed to all that, and there's going to be a plug connector for all the wires for the speaker system. So I'll close it and then you can see properly, and the actual pattern matching, which I've tried to do, which I think said, oh, and when I was talking about trying to retain the original style of the door card, well, originally it's pressed, so it's vinyl, and the heat press 2 lines in to there, so I've kept that, which was proper awkward trying to do this because I didn't have anything to do with the leather, because you can heat press leather to retain an impression. I had nothing that could do that, obviously, so I had to design that, incorporate in as I was doing the leather work with the foam, because obviously it's foam that's in there as well, and the little glove thing, that's the original shape. I've just made it a little bit longer and obviously made it work around the crossover, and then like I say, you can see it rest. But yeah, so you can see, I'll shut down, you can see it match up. So there you go. I think that looks quite good actually. And with removing the thing, I should clear for the handbrake there. But it's a shame I had to mess around doing this. But hey ho, it's a build, innit? And these things happen. You just come across something you didn't envisage. So that's how it goes. Oh, and I've for some time I've had the steering wheel, so the boss I've covered up here because I didn't want it to get it scratched or damaged. But I've never shown you the steering wheel. But I thought, seeing as I've got this far, interior's coming together quite well now, I'll show you the steering wheel. So I got this from Motorlita. So that's my steering wheel. I hope you can see that. And it looks absolutely brilliant on there. I'm well impressed with that. The whole, like I say, I think that's added a real dimension. Now, I got the 4-spoke just simply because I felt it looked way better than the 3-spoke, which you normally find in Mark II Jaguar from Motorlita. And I thought the 4-spoke, because I like the Mark I Jaguar, and I believe, if memory serves me, they have a 4-spoke steering wheel in. And I just thought, yeah. So that's what's going in the car. So there we go. Yeah, what can I say? We'll go down to the front because I'm kneeling on this cold ramp and it's up to my knees. Getting old, that's what it is. So at front, finish off. So in closing, we're getting there slowly, but we're getting there. I ought to be getting on with the head sometime for the for the 101. Because I want to get the engine back together, and then that one starts going, and I'm happy with that, then I can start throwing myself at other bits and pieces. I did also start getting Leo to mark out for the wheel stowages arms, but it didn't do anything really, just started marking, and that was it. So there's nothing to show there, but that's where we're moving with that. But yeah, oh, and the exhaust for the Jag, I've still not got those coated neither. Honestly, I need to get some of this stuff sorted out, but we'll get there. As always, I'm grateful for everybody that watches and the the comments are positive. But even, I suppose, if there are any sort of like, I don't think I've ever had in what I call real negative comments, but constructive criticism I like, it's okay. Because it makes me think about what I'm doing and where this is going. And the whole idea was, and I'll always say, the reason why I did this was because I wanted to see the feedback of what people thought of the work I was doing. And that inspires and encourages me and makes me think about what I'm doing. So grateful for all those comments, like I say. You all take it steady and, like I say, have a good new year, and let's all hope and works out that the way we want it to go. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is, hopefully sooner than later. Take it steady, you all.